Yo, what's going on, guys? Jay here, and today I'm bringing you a new installment of Talking Hip Hop. And today, what we're talking about is the new albums I listened to in May 2025. Now, not all of these are albums that I've heard for the first time, but I'm just going to be talking about them, some of them quite briefly, because I got over 30 here, very busy month. You might be able to tell by the background, by this big line in the ceiling. I'm not in any of my normal locations. If you guys are previous viewers, I've had, several. I'm at a hotel right now. Got some work stuff I'm taking care of, but yeah, appreciate you guys clicking on the video. Glad for you to be here. Be sure to tap in, or not be sure to tap in. I appreciate you guys all tap in with my rap tier list. I appreciate all the support on there. Thank you guys so much. If you want to continue to support me, be sure to drop a like, drop a subscribe, drop a comment. Let me know what type of videos you want to see in the future. But yeah, I'm very happy to be bringing this to you today. So let's get this started off. First of all, we got to talk about Pretty Girls Like Trap Music by 2 Chainz. Now, I've been wanting to listen to this for a while because a lot of people tout it as 2 Chainz' best. And honestly, I got to agree. It's like a mid-7 to me, but I was really, these first 2 tracks, Saturday Night and Riverdale Road, I was really impressed with in terms of the lyricism, in terms of the vibrant production. I mean, this album is actually really fucking good. You get a lot of very good features from popular artists, whether it's Migos on Blue Cheese, Nicki Minaj on Realizer, Travis Scott on 4am. Those are some of my favorite feature performances. My favorite tracks off of here: Saturday Night, Riverdale Road, the first 2 tracks, and then the outro, Burglar Bars, featuring Monica, as well as Balin featuring Pharrell. Like I said, Blue Cheese is great. Sleep When You Die is good. It's a vibe. Could have been better. I wasn't the biggest fan of, honestly, 2 Chainz' part on there. Poor Fool with Sway Lee is also really good. 4am with Travis Scott, I knew that song before I listened to this, just a banger. And Good Drank with Gucci Mane and Quavo was also pretty damn great. There's a lot of stuff that I'm fucking with on Pretty Girls Like Trap Music. If you've never heard it, I'd recommend. 2 Chainz is an artist who is he's not quite a legend in the rap game, but he's Hall of Good, Hall of Great worthy. You know what I mean? He has great albums, great, even amazing verses throughout his career. He hasn't, I don't think he will drop an album, like a classic album, but the new collab that he did with Larry June and The Alchemist, his album from 2019, the one with Mama I Hit a Lick, featuring Kendrick Lamar, man. Yeah, the name of that album is escaping me right now. That's great. Collie Grove 2 with Lil Wayne, which I did a review for on this channel, by the way. I also like that album as well. His earlier mix, 2 Chainz deserves some respect. I think this is the best body of work I've heard from him so far. It's a very just peak trap music with great, very lush, tropical almost production. Next album, Strictly For My by Tupac. Now, this is honestly a big switch up. Alright, this Genius page is not as good, not as detailed at all. But, well, I might be looking at this wrong. Alright, yeah, here we go. Alright, see, I was on the song. Anyways, that doesn't really matter, right? But, Strictly For My, I had to re-listen to because, I don't know, Me Against the World gets a lot of love. All Eyes on Me gets a lot of love. Machiavelli gets a lot of love. I mean, this album is great. It's definitely a little bit bloated. I don't go back to it all that much, but it also does have, and let's be honest, it has 2 classic tracks. I Get Around with Digital Underground. I listen to that a lot. And Keep Your Head Up. Those are 2 of my most played Tupac songs, which should not be surprising. Those are 2 of his biggest songs ever. I love those songs, but you're also getting a lot of very solid, gritty gangsta rap tracks. This album is not as polished as All Eyes on Me or as Me Against the World, but it's more polished than his debut mixtape, which I appreciate, because his debut album, Tupacalypse Now, the mixing on it is so bad. It has a very gritty, unpolished sound, which I like sometimes. Here, in this situation, it's like a very good mix. I do prefer, obviously, the more polished stuff, but that's also just because it's better. But yeah, I'm very glad I came back to this. This is like a light 8. I don't know if I'm going to give a rating to every album, but I'm kind of just saying that, some of you guys might be here for that. But yeah, strictly for if you like Pac, this is a great listen. Just a lot of great, gritty, hard raps. Next up, we got another LA rapper, Control System by Ab-Soul. This is, I should have mentioned, not the first time I listened to Strictly For My, first time that I listened to Pretty Girls Like Trap Music. And I'm revisiting Control System here. I heard this, but not in some years, to be honest. Like, not in some years. Excuse me. I'm glad I came back to this. This was the first Ab-Soul album I heard when I was not, like, really into Ab-Soul, but I've gotten a lot more into Ab-Soul since his Project Herbert a couple years ago, and then Soul Burger this past year really, like, pushed me over that, like, top 5 album of last year for me. I listened to it a whole bunch, and I've been going back through listening to, I was like, all right, I gotta listen to this, and it's better than I remember. This, again, is falling, like, in that low to mid 8 range. Tracks like Mixed Emotions, that's just a great, like, lean anthem, and I don't say that as someone who has or ever will drink lean, but it's got that like ASAP Rocky swagger to it. Great, like what's the word I'm looking for right here? Kind of this like uplifting, cloudy, hazy production, right? You also got the outro track, The Book of Soul, which is genuinely one of the most soul-crushing outros just in all of music, as Ab-Soul recounts his relationship with his very close girlfriend at the time, Lori Joe, who is featured on this album as a singer. And it is a tragic track. Damn near brought me to tears the first time I heard it, and still does sometimes when I listen to it today, because it's just such a powerful, like, if you don't know about Ab-Soul and you want to like know about Ab-Soul, you got to listen to that. He's an incredible lyricist, as you could see in points throughout this album. As he raps, the album's called Control System. He's talking about some conspiratorial stuff when you get to a track like Bohemian Grove, terrorist attacks with Danny Brown and Jhené Aiko, right? It's kind of like this album comes from like a very paranoid place about the state of the world, a place that I can personally relate to. If you've been watching me long enough, you know that I'm a skeptical guy with a lot of stuff, so you see themes like that incorporated in. Great listen. Illuminate with Kendrick was great. It's not the type of album where like you can take a bunch of songs here and throw them into your rotation, right? But it was a great listen, and I'm glad that I went back to it. Next up, Soul Burger, which I just mentioned. Like I said, I've been listening to this a bunch, and I think this might be his best album. Ab-Soul, every time I've listened to an album by him, like as they come out, I think it's his best. Or as I listen to them, I guess. I've only heard him drop 2 albums since I've only been there for 2 album cycles, if that makes sense. But I mean, this album just has everything. All that with Jason Martin and Thirsty P is just like a classic, like cool West Coast banger. Just got those like mustard sounding instrumentals with those, like I said, cool piano keys, great memorable bars, slick flow. 9 Mile is an awesome intro. Payday's great. Listen, I could just run through this whole track list and say it's all great. I'll try not to. This is like a high 8 for me. Bucko Jr., this is like a rap onslaught. Like, I'm sure you've heard Rapping Like the Rent Is Due. You have not heard Rapping Like the Rent Is Due unless you've heard this song, I, Myself, and Me, featuring Doechii, where Doechii's not really on it. She kind of just does a refrain. This is, again, a deeply personal track about Ab-Soul's struggles with, like, loneliness, with identity. It's one of my favorite and one of the best tracks on here. Crazier with Jid. When that came out as a single, it kind of put me off, given the eerie vibe. I mean, it's still great, but it does feel a little off on this track list. Righteous Man is an amazing outro. Feels like a callback to 2011 era TDE as a whole. I mentioned 9 Mile is a great intro. California Dream as well with Cam Carson and Vince Staples. These are all tracks I heavily recommend that you check out that I love. I love the kind of concept around this album where it's about like, this album's kind of dedicated. It's about his late friend Doughburger, who has obviously played an integral part in his music career, in Soul's music career. Very close friend of his. And this kind of demonstrate, this whole album is demonstrating their friendship, the type of stuff that they do for each other, the type of bond they had, constant allusions to the two of them combining and comparing him and Doe to different types of just like relationships throughout media and pop culture, or friendships, I should say, right? And just to show the strength of them. And I'm just to illustrate a point, I'm gonna pull a couple lyrics from Bucko JR. One of my favorites is "I need Mo like eeny meeny miny." But great, just great, like Alexander and Alexander McQueen tie son up in the ring with Muhammad Ali back in like '73. The analogy is you won't want to be casualty battling me. You think you talented, I grab you by my talons, then I eat your DNA leaking like molasses off my beak. I need Mo, I already said that. I need Mo like eeny, meeny, miny. Like, there's just so many great one-liners on here. So many great, what's the word I'm looking for? Metaphors, similes as well. I mean, yeah, this is just like a 5.5 minute onslaught. I'm gonna try not to spend like 5 minutes on each album, because like I said, we got 30 here. I gotta go to bed soon. It's late and I gotta be up early, so we're gonna try and keep this as quick as possible. But Soulburger, must listen album for me on here. It might be my favorite on here. Forever is a mighty long time. This also falls into the high 8 category. Not the first time I've heard this album. First time in probably a year or two, yeah. This is an album where, like, I want to put it higher. It's a little bit long for me. I understand that it is kind of giving that, like, double album vibe. You get 22 tracks here, right? And you get some deeply personal songs as well as some gritty South bangers. Big Crit is an underground rapper from Mississippi. This is his magnum opus. Some of my favorite songs that I recommend you listen to: Bury Me in Gold. Deeply personal song. Everlasting is like a good kind of sing-songy track where Crit is questioning his current relationship. Keep the Devil Off is about fighting temptations. And these are some of my favorites. All Score is also another good like singing type of track. But then you got Ride With Me, Subinstein, and Big Bank with T.I., which are just some like trunk rattling bangers. Like, I just mean absolutely bass boosted, dirty South bangers. So you get that good mix here. Get Up to Come Down is great as well. Like, I definitely heavily recommend listening to this project. Big Crit, I feel like this is an album I would appreciate more if I was like a big fan of his. This being, I've only heard like 3 of his albums, and I'm not like, right, not that I don't like him, because I do. I just don't love him. And I feel like if I did love him, I would appreciate this album a lot more. I listened to it a bunch. A lot of these songs are just always on my playlist, and I'm glad that I came back to it. Next up, Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish. I don't have a whole bunch to say about this album right now. It's not the first time I've heard it. This is an album I actually, like I did the most recent time, I throw on while I'm studying. I was actually writing an essay while I was working on this. And L'amour de ma vie, which is of course French. That's one of my favorite songs, I should say, on here. Like that, just that refrain, I wish you the best for the rest of your life. Birds of a Feather is of course a banger on here. I like Skinny, I like Chihiro, I like Bittersweet as well. Not an album I listen to a whole bunch, but again, I'm glad I put it on. I don't really have a rating for this since, I don't know how to rate pop albums, since I don't have like a large scope of comparison, but I would say this is probably in a 7 or 8 range. I do really enjoy it. I think Billie Eilish's songwriting is very merited here. She writes about a bunch of different topics, including like self-image, love life, and stuff like that, you know. Great album. And as you can see, I do get out of the rap space sometimes. Mos Def and Talib Kweli are Black Star. This is a classic hip-hop album, just if you've never heard it. This is like, if someone asked you, hey, what do you consider like conscious rap? Like, what is conscious rap? This is it. This is it. Now, this is a 9, probably a late 9 for me. Not the first time I've heard it, right? Just the first time I've heard it in probably 3 or 4 years. Because again, this is not like the type of album where you're pulling out a lot of songs. Some of the ones that you can pull out and throw on a playlist, Redefinition and Thieves in the Night, as well as Respiration with Common. And that's not because this is like a hard listen, because it's not. Like, yeah, it's very deep lyrically, but it's not that challenging. Or it is challenging, but it's not like if you listen to it, it's going to go completely over your head, right? Some of this is very digestible in terms of the social, political topics that they're discussing here, right? I mean, some of them are obvious when you look at track names like Children's Story, Brown Skin Ladies, B-Boys Will Be B-Boys. Very socially conscious album for the time. But the reason I would say I don't come back to it a lot outside of the context of the album is just because that's where it fits best. And it's also not like it's terribly mixed. It's mixed very well. It's not like the production is like, again, like not digestible like an album like Atrocity Exhibition by Danny Brown, where I just would never play any of those songs on a playlist like casually really ever. It's just got like this very unique vibe. It's very laid back and I like it. It's very soulful as well. Black Star, this is a must-listen album in my opinion, even though I don't come back to it a crazy amount. This is like a pillar of hip-hop to a degree. Like, this is just an important album to have listened to and have given a try. And another album that falls into that vein is right here, Below the Heavens by Blue and Exile. This is not the first time I heard this. This is the type of album I listen to like at least once or twice a year just to like experience it. You know what I mean? Like, this is a classic. This album I would like truthfully say is a 10, like genuinely. This is a perfect album. This is an important album. This is one of the best ever. And if you've never heard this album, you should go listen. It is one of like just incredibly like lush, vibrant jazz production. You get great trumpets and horns and soul singing samples throughout this whole album. And then on top of that, Blue on this album in 2007 is one of the most vivid lyricists and storytellers in all of hip-hop. Like, it's not just, like, fancy rhyme schemes and big vocabulary. Like, no. Blue is really painting the picture for you of his life. And his life right now, he's, 21, 22 years old, trying to make it as a rapper. He's dead broke, and he's got really no motion at the time of this coming out. This is one of his first projects. It's probably his most successful project to date because it is like an underground classic, although I don't even know if it would have charted on the Billboard 200, but this is just a lot of streams of consciousness, what Blue is thinking about himself, his life, what he wants to do with his life. And it's just such a great album for perspective. You're getting great insight from someone who, again, is very young, but you would imagine it has 65 years of wisdom on him in terms of what he's rapping about. And it's very uplifting. It's very relatable because this is not rap like, oh, look at all this money and look at all this cars I got. It's like, I'm worried about getting my next meal. I'm worried about trying to make something of myself in this world. I'm not even going to recommend any songs on here because just listen to the album. This is definitely a experience that rewards you for listening to the whole thing. Next up, Mirrorland by Earth Gang. This is a high 8 for me, not the first time I've ever heard it. This actually is really one of the first albums that helped really get me into hip-hop around the time it came out, right? 2019, 6 years ago. I had no reason to listen to this other than I was just getting into J. Cole. I was like, oh, he's got a record label. Earth Gang's on it. They just dropped. Let's give him a try. And I became a huge fan of Earth Gang because of this album. It's the soundscape, the atmosphere is so psychedelic. I'm saying vibrant a lot, but this is the most interesting example because you just have so many different vibes and sounds that are hit. Some of my favorite tracks here and the best ones, Blue Moon, Swivel, This Side, Up, Top Down, and Proud of You with Young Thug. You have a mix of bangers. You have a mix of southern soulful tracks, amazing rapping from Dr. Dot and Johnny Venus just throughout this whole project, like they do their whole career. And then Blue Moon is just this super spunky, catchy track. It sounds right out of a Disney movie. If you told me that song was in Princess and the Frog, I would 100% not believe you because I know it's not, but it just has that New Orleans vibe to it. I don't even know how to describe it. And then Proud of You with Young Thug is just a banger. Up is some aggressive raps with this climactic beat. Like, there is just so much to love here. This is a truly an underrated gem from the 2010s. Moving on, The Score by the Fugees. Again, not the first time I've heard this one, just returning it to hear the incredible stylings of Miss Lauryn Hill, Pras, and Wyclef Jean. This is, again, kind of like a pillar of hip-hop, although the miseducation of Lauryn Hill is better and I think is more important to listen to if you have not heard it already. But you got to listen to The Score, too. And I learned that as I heard this album for, like, the first time, probably in this last, like, year and a half. Tracks that, like, I would recommend if you're not sure if you are going to like it. Manifest/Outro has Lauryn Hill's one of her best pure rapping versus best lyrical performances. No Woman, No Cry is an amazing soulful track. Same with Killing Me Softly with his song. Fuji La, How Many Mics is great as well. There's just, again, like with On The Miseducation, just an amazing mix of soulful singing and meaningful, like, not necessarily heartwarming, but like compassionate rapping. And this is like a light 9 for me. I like severely recommend it. Let me get a quick drink of water. This is my reminder at this point in the video to hydrate if you have not. We're making our way through this pretty damn good so far. Next up, Monster by Future. Again, not the first time that I've heard this. I've actually listened to it probably a lot of times because this is the type of album where, like, I've seen people say it's Future's best. And I just, like, haven't bought into it, but I was like, no, DS2 is better, Hendrix is better, Self-Titled is better, you know, even a couple others. But the more I listen to this, just the more it grows on me. Because at first I was like, oh, this gets clouded because it's a couple of tracks. Because you got Codeine Crazy and Throwaway, which are Future's 2 best songs. Throwaway being the best. I mean, the beat switch on that song is amazing. The way it encapsulates, like, these 2 strong emotions that Future is going through breakup. Like, the way he wants to handle it and the way he is handling. The first step being the way he wants to handle it, partying it off, being like, oh, I don't give a fuck about you, whatever. And then you get the way he is handling it, where he's saying, when I'm fucking on all these other girls to get over you, I'm thinking about you. When you're fucking on guys, I hope you're thinking about me because I'm thinking about you. And it's just this very sad moment. Codeine Crazy is a great outro. Future's best written track to this date. I mean, he is, again, just... That's why this album is called Monster, because he's rapping about himself like he's a monster who has no control over himself, just an addict to sex, to drugs, to money, to feeling nothing. At this time, I would probably say it's Future's best album, to be honest. It's like a mid-8, and just... It's because the first couple listens, all these other tracks don't do it for me, but now... When I go through and look at this track list, all I see is bangers. Radical, Monster, Throwaway, Tupac, Fetty. And then you got Hardly and My Savages, which are like more of those, like, kind of, not depressing, but like those low-key Future cuts that are still really catchy, but not necessarily like, oh, so hard I'm going to listen to this in the gym. But they get you in your bag. I love Monster. If not Future's best project, it's one of his. Saviors by Green Day. Now, I listened to this yesterday while I was washing dishes, getting ready for bed, stuff like that, because last month I re-listened to American Idiot, because Green Day was one of my favorite musical acts as a kid. My dad put me on hard. I love Green Day. That might be a surprising fact about me to you guys. I'm over here rocking the Nas shirt, New York State of Mind shirt right now, and I'm talking about Green Day, because American Idiot is a classic. I saw that they dropped this album last year, and I was like, you know what, I'll check it out. Like I've mentioned in the past, rock is like a hard genre for me to like successfully rate, but I would say this is like 5-6 range, because there are some songs that suck, like Bobby Sox. Bobby Sox sucks, 1981. I'm not crazy about some of this stuff. It's like, you know, it could get my head bang and get me vibing when I'm in that rock mood, when I'm in that Green Day mood. But a lot of it is also just not that captivating. The songwriting, though, I love the raging libtard that is coming out of Billy Joel Armstrong here. I love it. You know, like on the American Dream is Killing Me, I love it, right? I love the rebellion and the anti-establishment that's here. It makes me happy. That's the type of person I am. And that is because of Green Day and American Idiot. But there are other times where it feels out of touch, you know. And that's going to happen. These guys are all probably over 50. Some of my favorite songs, Fancy Sauce, Good Night, Adeline, Strange Days Are Here to Say, Look Ma, No Brains, and One Eyed Bastard, as well as Dilemma. Like, there are good tracks here, but it's not their best work. It's not the band's best work. If you're into Green Day, give it a listen, you know. I'm glad that I did. Especially the last album I heard from them in terms of most recent, Radio Rebel, that shit was not good. And also, oh, not that one, even though, like, one with the unicorn on it sucked. That shit was terrible. Take Me to Your Leader by King Ghidorah, another album that I've been meaning to listen to for a very long time. This is, of course, MF Doom's Alter Ego. Ooh, not Ultra, Alter Ego. I've heard a lot of songs from here that I've wanted to listen to for a while, or that have made me want to listen to this album for a while. And again, I'm glad I did. This is like probably a light 8, low 8, like in that range. There's some songs I'm going to come back to here. I'm glad I listened to it. Not Doom's best album, but I would probably slot it comfortably at like 5. Because Doom, excuse me, in my opinion, you have Mad Villainy, which is amazing. That is like an all-time classic. And you got Food, and you got Doomsday, and you got Vaudeville Villain. Right? These are all like very high echelon. The top 3, of course, being the highest, right? Or the top 2, I should say. Then you got Doomsday, and you got Vaudeville Villain, which there's a slight drop-off, but this is still like high 8 territory. And then there's another drop-off to like the high 7, low 8 territory, where you get albums like this, like, oh man, what's the one that I'm thinking of as well? There's another, man, I wish I could remember the name of it. Oh, The Mask and the Mouse. That's what it is. It's The Mask and the Mouse that are like in that territory. I haven't listened to Born Like This yet. Oh, as well as his collaborations with Czarface. Great project as well. But, you know, that's kind of the tiers, and I feel like this is probably the best of that tier. Next up, Deep Thoughts by Lil Durk. I listened to this album in the gym because, you know, it came out this year. It was the first and only time I listened to it. I'll never revisit anything here. I don't like this. I don't like Lil Durk that much. I just thought I'd give it a try. He can normally get like 1 or 2 high-paced bangers out for an album. This is not one of those. Piff by Lord Sco, also released this year. This was the first time I listened to it, and I'm very glad that I did. Lord Sco is a rapper, New York rapper, that I've really been paying attention to, like, since his come up. And he just keeps getting more polished and improving songwriting-wise with every project. I mean, like, for real, when we're talking about Museum, when we're talking about... It's the name of that theater in New York City. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, man. It came out like 2 years ago. I'm sorry that I'm whiffing. Sorry to Sco. I do love this album, and I do love the album before that as well. There are a lot of songs that I always go back to. Since I've only really listened to it once so far, there's nothing I can tell you like, oh, this is my favorite, this is my favorite. But the whole album itself is just very good vibes, very calm, laid back, amazing production. And if you're looking for some like good New York boom bap, you know, you're a big boom bap head and you don't know about Lord Sco, it's time to tap in. Piff is great. Piff is absolutely great. Stay Trippy by Juicy J. This is the first solo Juicy J project I've listened to other than... I don't even know. It came out a few years ago. It had like A$AP Rocky, Lil Baby, Conway the Machine, 2 Chainz, a bunch of people on it. And yeah, I listened to this because of Bands That Make Her Dance, which is like a big song, but also the fact that that was like playing in the Washington Capitals locker all year, and that Alexander Ovechkin, the NHL goal scoring leader after this season, like is vibing out to it at like 38, 39. I just think that's funny. Excuse me, and it was time for me to tap in. Scholarships with A$AP Rocky is a banger. Excuse me again. What's the other song I like on here? So Much Money. This is like a mid-7. There's just bangers on here. You know, if you like the Juicy J 3-6 style, that's what you're going to get here. Some club music, some underground gritty bangers. Glad I listened, but nothing too crazy. More Chaos. This was the first time I heard this. This came out this year. Ken Carson, not a big fan of his. A Great Chaos is a good and like kind of inspiring album for the rage genre, which I don't like. I have a whole video essay on rage rap on here. You should check it out, as well as my review for A Great Chaos, which is a pretty positive review, all things considering, especially considering that I don't like rage rap. So I would recommend checking that out, right? This album, I would not. This is like a low 4 to high 3. All these songs just blend together. I'm not interested in really any of it, and I haven't listened to the deluxe. I think there is a deluxe out. Trap Jump, it's a good banger. It's cool that it's getting some steam. It has that unique trap jump like Jordan, no trap jump like Ja. And that when it comes to Ken Carson, that's like the one redeemable thing I could say about his music that I find interesting. The fact like he raps bars and he'll mess them up purposely like that and then correct himself. I think it's a unique thing that no one else does. I don't even know if this is a real one. I'm pretty sure it is to some extent, but this is like my favorite example when telling people I'm rocking Rick Owens. Like, just like, I don't know. There's something interesting about it. No one else does that, but that's all I have to say about this album. It was really underwhelming, especially after I was very impressed with The Great Chaos, at least for Ken Carson standards. Like I said, I'm not a fan of rage rap other than Cardi. Next up, we got some Kendrick Lamar albums to talk about, as I did go in early May. Oh, excuse me, I freaking nose is running, man. I did go to see Kendrick Lamar Grand National Tour with SZA early this May. Thank you to my amazing, beautiful girlfriend, and thank you to my brother who took me there for my birthday. Appreciate you guys, love you guys, love you, Emma. But yeah, so we listened to some GNX and Damn on the way down. These are albums I'll be talking about a lot more in depth in the future, I hope, because I just don't want to go on for, 10 minutes about GNX right now, this deep into this video. I should have a podcast episode about it if you want to go check out the Talking Hip Hop Show. This, in my opinion, is Kendrick's 4th best album, at least to me. Some people don't like that I like it better than Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, but replayability is important to me, as I've iterated in that tier list that I did. And this is just a great mix of like personal, amazing songwriting and bangers when it comes to tracks like Gloria, tracks like Reincarnated, tracks like Man at the Garden, but you also got your Whacked Out Murals, your Luthers, your TV Off. Like, this is just such a fun listen. And I think it's one of the like closest to perfect albums we've gotten in a while, just because of like just a great like balance of everything. I love GNX. It has not gotten old for me yet. The other one that we listened to, like I said, is Damn, which I don't even have on here, but shout out Damn. Very underrated album because Kendrick's catalog is so strong. But so many bangers on there, honestly. Even though it's like highly rated, it's just a slept on album. Next up, though, we got On My Way to Rexdale by Nav. I listened to this because it came out fairly recently, March 28th. I'm glad I listened to this. This is like a solid 6. I don't like Nav that much. Like, he's a pretty underwhelming artist, but I like that he was in more of his auto-tune, like R&B, trap and B bag here. I don't know how much I'm going to come back to this. I liked Unlimited. There are a couple other tracks I liked. I think Red was one of them, but normally when I'm listening to a Nav album, I'm waiting for it to end. This was one where I was just enjoying myself the whole listen, even though it's nothing too interesting. Nav was hitting some great melodies. Shout out to that album. Now we got some Pink Floyd, which like hit me hard and soft. I listened to this while writing an essay. Animals. Man, Pink Floyd's top 4 albums are so hard to rank for me because Animals used to be 4, but it's really has made a case that I could put it at 2. It's amazing. This is not an album like the Kendrick stuff where I'm not going to dissect it right now. Maybe I do that in a future video. If you want to see it, let me know in the comments. But I love Animals. You have some great societal commentary packaged into just some of the best performed rock songs of all time. And also, Wish You Were Here. We got an ad. Get out of here, Honda Pilot. Wish You Were Here, again, kind of falls into this category where, again, it's this very, it's 5 tracks. 2 of the tracks are kind of like shorter interludes. And then you have these very lengthy tracks, Shine On You, Crazy Diamonds, part 1 through 5, and part 6 through 9, where, again, it's just some of the best instrumentated and performed rock music ever. It does not get old. Wish You Were Here and Welcome to the Machine as well. Just amazing songs. I do love Pink Floyd. Like I said, it's not all hip-hop here, even though we are talking hip-hop. Now, next up, more TDE, and in the future more TDE, because ever since last year I've been like on a binge of going back through and listening to old TDE albums. Like, that's just how it is. And Ray Vaughn dropped this year, and let me tell you about the good, the bad, and the dollar menu. I listened to this week, just a few days ago, right? And unlike a lot of albums that I listen to for the first time, this doesn't happen a lot. I listened to it, and I listened to it, and I was just so astounded that I was like, all right, the next time I listen to an album, I'm running this back. Sometimes I listen to an album, and I'm like, oh, I gotta listen to this in a week again. It's very, like, I have to really fuck with an album. Like, of course I did this with GNX where it was on repeat. But I was just so impressed. I was like, all right, I got to run this back. I ran it back later that night. I got some of these tracks on my playlist rotation. And I also, this is still in the album queue. I have a fat album queue on Spotify. This is still in there. Normally I take an album off after I listen to it. But I'm so impressed with this album that I got to listen to it again. I don't even know where to start with this because I have so much I want to say. Flat Shasta is an incredible, like, a letter to my mother song, right, from Ray Vaughn. And it's incredible because it's this, I don't even know how to describe it. It's about not just their, like, broken relationship, but it's this portrait of Ray Vaughn's mom that illustrates the love he has for her, but also, like, how she had impacted him growing up. And you also get some bangers on here like XXXLT, Dollar Menu, which, like, oh my god, I'm pretty sure this is a track where, like, starts off the refrain, I was so hungry last night that I had sleep for dinner, or I was so broke last night I had sleep for dinner, and then it just turns, and, like, you get that, and then it turns into this banger. Look at God with Lil Russell is just a classic, like, groovy West Coast banger. I've heard of Lil Russell before. I really like that track. Janky Moral Compass, Miles Away from Heaven are great as well. Suburban Kids is like the outro that paints the whole picture here about, because this whole album is about, like, Ray Vaughn's really rough upbringing, and you get a very well painted portrait about the type of person Ray Vaughn is here, about all the stuff he had to endure growing up, about the life he's lived so far. So, like I said, a great portrait of a person. It truly is. And I can't recommend this album enough. I think I might talk about it more in the future. Flocker's Remorse is also great. At 11 tracks, it's not the, like, longest listen, but it's also not very digestible. Like I said, there is so much going on here lyrically. And Ray Vaughn, he's not the best. He's not Absol, right? When it comes to TDE lyricists, he's not Absol. He's not Q. He's not Kendrick. But what he is one of the best emotional storytellers in the game right now. Because not only is his, like, storytelling bar work good, but you can hear the emotion he puts into every lyric, the way he emphasizes certain things. I mean, it's crazy. Ray Vaughn is so animated, and sometimes I feel like his cadence and rapping style sounds like Baby Keem, because he's also very animated, but he's not animated like that. Like, Ray Vaughn is oozing charisma, but it's on every emotion. It's not just he sounds cartoonish. It's he sounds what he's feeling. You could tell what he's feeling from the way he raps. Next up, we got more TDE with Reason I Love You Again. This came out this year. I've only listened once so far. This is another album that might get some more playback from me. Reason's the type of rapper who I always try to listen to when he drops, and I'm always, like, impressed. I'm always like, wow, I really like this. This is good. But I don't go back to it that much. Now, for this personally, this might be the most impressed that I was. 100 Freestyle is probably my favorite song here. My Own is great as well, but I don't have a lot to say other than just listen to this project if you want to. It's good. I like it a lot. I need some more time with it because I haven't listened to it. That was more of a beginning of the month listen. From the private collection of Saba and No ID, this I've listened to like 3 times so far. I'd say I really like this. At first I was like, oh, this might be my least favorite Saba album, but again, this is so polished. You have great jazzy, soulful instrumentation from No ID over these boom bap instrumentals. Saba really comes to life. Some of my favorite songs, Head Wrap, which was the single. I think this is an amazing song. It's one of my favorites. But you also got Woes of the World, West Side Bound Part 4, How to Impress God, and a few songs. I mean, this is just, excuse me guys, I'm sorry, up and down a very just airtight album where you're getting a lot of high quality stuff. Like, no doubt about that, just high quality all the way through. And I love it for that. I truly do love it for that. Another album that, if you guys are interested, I could talk about in at more extent in the comments below. Just let me know, please. Just give me that heads up, and I will do it. But I like this album a lot. It's probably, in my opinion, the second best Saba album now, just because it's so polished. It's like a light 8 for me. T.I., Urban Legend. I listened to this album in the gym. I discovered it like a year and a half ago where I first listened to it. And let me tell you, this is one of the best trap albums of all time. Everyone stay talking about Future and Young Thug, but that's just because we're young. But if you like trap music, listen to some fucking T.I., man. T.I. is one of the best, like, rappers I'm happiest I started listening to in the last year and a half. I mean, he really dominates a lot of my gym music, a lot of my running music, and every song on here is just, like, such a banger. You got My Life, which is over the Tupac Ambitions as a Rider beat, and T.I.'s really shown his love for the West Coast. You got Daz Dillinger on here. Freak, though, with Pharrell is just like a, oh my god, such a banger. There's such a great, like, flute melody on there. And you got Pharrell in there. She got the angel eyes with the very sweet face, but she a freak, though. And then you've just got so many, like, classic, just, like, hard trap bangers. The King, Motivation, You Don't Know Me, ASAP, Why You Mad at Me, What They Do. The Greatest with Manny Fresh is such a triumphant instrumental. This is, like, a mid to high 8 for me. I cannot recommend this album enough. I really do love Urban Legend by T.I. This is like his second album, came out in 2004. Truly, truly amazing. Next up, Big Fish Theory by Vince Staples. Again, not the first time I've heard this record, but it's the first time in probably 3 or 4 years, honestly, because this is an album that everyone gasses online. I see people say this is Vince's best, and still, it just hasn't clicked for me. Like, I like the experimental style here. Tracks like 745, Same O, Bag Back are some of my favorites. Rain Come Down as well. But, like, Crabs in a Bucket is just, I don't know. There's so much. The production is, like, too much. It's too hoppy for me. I'm just not the biggest fan of, like, it's still, like, a low to mid 7 for me. Like, I do appreciate what Vince is doing here, but you've probably heard me say this before if you've watched maybe before. Something being experimental does not necessarily mean it's immediately amazing. Experimenting in music is amazing and is necessary in any artistic media for any genre to advance and become better. But it does not automatically mean it's something great just because it is different. Shout out to Vince. I love Vince. This is not meant to disrespect him because I do love so many of his projects. This is just me saying that Big Fish Theory, although I do like it, it's not one of my favorites of his. Next up, another album I listened to in the gym, Flockavelli. Again, I'm going to reiterate, if you like trap music and you have not heard this, this is kind of like, I don't know, this is just like super hard, like gangsta, like this like really hits me as like a precursor to drill in terms of like the content matter, because this is just all about that like street life, guns, drug dealing, hoes, and nothing else over these super duper hard hitting instrumentals, Atlanta instrumentals. I know a lot of people probably just know this album for Girl, the Way You Movin', You Got Me in a Trance, DJ throwing up, Fans, This Your Jam. But as much as I do love that song, and I actually revisit to it a lot, we got to talk about tracks like Oh Let's Do It, Grove Street Party, as well as possibly my favorite song on this album, Brick Squad with Gutta Gutta. Just throw this album on in the gym, or even TTG, Train to Go. Oh my, just trust me, throw this album on in the gym. Tell me what you think of it in the comments after you do that. This is like straight adrenaline to your ear. This is like a solid 8. It's very, not similar, but like the way I feel about it is similar to the way that I feel about Finally Rich by Chief Keef. Also, the album cover is kind of similar. All right, we're so close to being done, guys. That makes me really happy. I hope you're enjoying this video so far. If you are, I appreciate you standing by. A, B, show some support, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. C, thank you very much. It means the world to me. Let me know what you've been listening to this past month in the comments. And if you give me your take on some of these albums you feel passionate about as well. There's a good variety here, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Next up, Cushion OJ 2 by Wiz Khalifa. This came out this year. I listened to it once. This is like an inoffensive album. Wiz Khalifa is not an album artist to me. I figured I'd listen to it just because, you know, he was dropping some fire freestyles this year, especially the Squabble Up freestyle. And there's some tracks that I might come back here to. None that I remember the name of, but so like good production, basic raps. I mean, it's Wiz Khalifa. You kind of know what you're getting at this point. He did not push my expectations from him any further. There we go. But yeah, there's some fun tracks here. Good production. Now we got 3 Young Thug projects left. First of all, On the Run. I've heard this EP before. Oh, this is the song. Whatever. The EP itself is just fucking, like, honestly, it's awesome. It's really one of Thug's best projects when it comes down to it. I mean, High with Elton John's a banger, but then Climax with 6 Lack is also just like, there's some beautiful singing on that track, if we're being honest. On the Run is like this upbeat trap banger, and then you got Sin as well. This EP is just so fucking fun. Like, it's just a good time. That's the best way to describe it. Listen to it if you never have. Slime Season 2. This is the second time I heard this project since it's been put on Spotify. I just wanted to really re-listen to it after my initial listen to it when it came out on Spotify. And I like it. I know a lot of people think this is Thug's, best album or mixtape. Not for me, but there are some tracks that I like on here. The main one being She Notice. Like, that's a really fun song that I love. Raw is also great, but yeah, there are a lot more concise Young Thug songs that I like better. And the final Young Thug project is Young Martha by Young Thug and Gordo, and this is just 4 tracks, fun time, inoffensive. Some of it goes hard in the gym with that great production. And the last 2 things, these are not albums, but we got the Joey Badass and Ray Vaughn rap battle. The Joey Badass West Coast album. You had a lot of great entries into this battle from CJ Fly, Kai Cash. Absol's song was good. I'm glad that he dropped something, although not quite a diss song. Reason, AZ Chike, Daylight, and so many others. Obviously, Joey and Ray Vaughn and Daylight were kind of like the main people here. I've been listening to all of this, especially, oh my god, the Cypher, Big Sean, Absol, and Joey Badass on the Cypher. That shit was awesome, the Red Bull Cypher. If you've never heard that, that's like the best like collective rapping experience of the year. Go listen. If you want me to talk at further extent about this rap battle, let me know in the comments, because I will. I would love to make content about this rap battle and some of the songs in here. I just kind of missed my opportunity to do it as it was coming out. But retrospectively, if you guys want that, let me know, because I will do it. Again, so many great moments, and songs just throughout this whole thing. And last up, I think I am going to do a little video on this song that came out, because I just heard it for the first time literally yesterday, because the new Clips album is coming out, and this single, Ace Trumpets, is something special. I mean, Pusha T and his brother No Malice are in like peak form, and this is coming from someone I've listened to. Hell Hath No Fury. I've listened to the other album that they did with the casket the camo background, not till the casket drops. I'm forgetting the name. I love them both. I love Clips a lot, honestly. I listen to them a good bit, and I've been getting into them more and more. But this production from Pharrell is just so different than anything he's ever done before. It maintains that same like Clip style where it's different and it's just got this upbeat sound that very much contrasts what they're rapping about. And then the one-liners, the lyricism here, especially from No Malice, I just blew me away. I think I'm going to do a little breakdown on this track, a little quick vid for you guys, because I just love Ace Trumpet so much. I've really been loving this song. But yeah, I'm so excited for this upcoming Clips album. Well, we're at 48 minutes. This is going uncut. This is a little longer than I wanted, but this is what happens when you listen to 31 albums in a month and then you want to do a fucking talking about all the albums you listen to. So that's my bad. Maybe this next month will be shorter. Maybe this one will be longer. We don't know. But make sure you are subscribed with the bell on so you can see next month how long it is. Right? That's what this is all about, right? How many more albums will I listen to next month? Let me know in the comments your opinions on some of these albums, what you've been listening to this month, and most importantly, where I'm wrong. What did I really fuck up here? But yeah, if you made it this far into the video, I greatly appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Much love for you guys. Thank you. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.